Welcome to Bedtime Stories of Calm and Grace. Here, we slow down. Each story is a gentle journey to help your mind find peace and your soul find rest. Tonight's story is Bhai Lalo, the Honest Bread. A night at Bhai Lalo's hearth. Saki-inspired bedtime story. Take a slow breath in and a longer breath out. Let the dust of the day fall from your shoulders. Tonight, we visit a small town lit by lanterns and quiet work. The streets are narrow and kind. The air carries the smell of wood shavings, fresh chapati, and the clean hush that arrives when people close their doors with prayers still warm in their mouths. At the edge of this town lives a carpenter named Bhai Lalo. His house is simple, its walls honest with years. A wooden bench sits by the door, worn silky by neighbors who have come to rest and talk about weather and wheat, tools and tenderness. Inside, a small hearth glows. The pot does not boast, but it never forgets the recipe for enough. Across town lives a wealthy official who hosts grand feasts. His courtyard is wide, his lamps many, his music eager to be heard in the next street. His invitations travel like gold-tipped birds. People come because it feels like a necessary river to bathe in if one hopes to be seen clean. One night, a saintly traveler arrives, the kind of person whose quiet turns noise into listening. He walks with the unhurried stride of someone who believes in both feet, both hands, both neighbors. Some call him wise, some teacher, some simply friend. He speaks little, but when he does, bread tastes different afterward. The traveler is welcomed in the town, as travelers should be. The wealthy official sends a shining invitation with polite insistence. Come, honor my table, it says in careful words. The best of the city belongs to you tonight. The note smells of saffron and importance. Everyone expects the traveler to go, to sit high, and eat richly under lamps that have names. But before the messenger can be thanked, Bhai Lalo steps from his doorway, wiping a flower from his hands. My house is small, he says, and my meal is simple. If you would share it, it would be my good fortune. His words carry the sound of saw and sandpaper, of patient wrists and trustworthy planks. His clothes are clean with the cleanliness of effort, not of ease. The traveler looks from the golden invitation to the wooden door. He smiles in a way that blesses both, but his feet turn toward Bhai Lalo. The messenger blinks, surprised, then bows and carries confusion back to the courtyard of music. Inside the carpenter's home, the room is a hymn of ordinary. A hand-loomed cloth covers a low table. On it, two chapatis rest under a towel to keep their quiet warmth. A small bowl holds lentils that have learned kindness by long simmering. Beside it, a pinch of salt waits like a good sentence. Simple, complete, enough. They sit. Bhai Lalo serves the traveler first, not because of rule, but because hospitality is one of the tools he keeps sharp. The bread is soft where it should be soft, crisp where a wheel of heat kissed it just enough. The traveler eats as a grateful man eats, slowly, tasting labor and love. He drinks water that remembers the clay of its cup. His eyes praise without words. Bhai Lalo bows his head, relieved that his small kitchen could honor a large soul. Across town, the wealthy official hears that the traveler has chosen the carpenter's home over his feast. His pride leaps and snarls. he sends another messenger with silver on his tongue. I insist, the message says, for the sake of the city's honor. Come take your place where the lamps are many. This time the messenger carries not only words, but the weight of expectation. The traveler rises and thanks Bhai Lalo for the meal, for the bench that learned his shape, for the room that remembered to be humble. Walk with me, he asks, and together they go to the official's courtyard, where music bristles and platters show off their brightness. The courtyard is a parade of plenty. Trays tower with sweets and savories. The host wears a fabric that has learned to shine. When the traveler enters, all talk exhales at once, as if a child had clapped in a quiet temple. The host bows deeply with a smile that reaches most of the way to his eyes. I am honored, the traveler says. Your house is generous. Then why? The host replies, lightly, but with stone under the silk. Did you prefer the carpenter's hut to my palace table? The traveler considers the question as one considers a piece of wood before cutting, patiently, respectfully, with the hope of making it true. He looks at the bread on the silver platters, fluffy, glazed with pride, and he looks at Bhai Lalo's hands, which still hold the softness of dough and the strength of day's work. May I show, rather than explain? He asks. The host nods, curious but certain of the lesson's destination. A servant brings 2 pieces of bread, one from Bhai Lalo's hearth, wrapped in the humble towel, one from the official's kitchen, steaming with spice and spectacle. The traveler takes the first bread, the one kneaded by hands that also sandwood and carry water, that open doors and fold blankets with the precise love of exhausted people. He holds it gently, as if it contained a small bird that trusts him. He presses it, and in the lantern light, the bread seems to shine, as if it carries milk, not spilling, not staining, but suffusing the room with the memory of kindness done quietly. There is a murmur. The host's smile stiffens but stays. Then the traveler takes the other bread, the one baked in a kitchen where orders run faster than gratitude, where coins urge the dough to rise higher than the heart. He presses it. The beautiful loaf glistens, but the glisten is not blessing. It is the sweat of laborers rushed past fairness, the tears of vendors priced past dignity. It does not drip. It does not accuse. It simply tells the truth in a way even the proud can smell. The courtyard hushes. The music forgets its next note. Somewhere near the gate, a child stops fidgeting and watches the traveler's hands with the same attention the sea gives the moon. This is not a condemnation, the traveler says softly, turning to the host. It is an invitation. Feed others as if they were already your guests. Pay the hands that harvest as you wish heaven to pay you for your prayers. Let your bread learn to be honest. Then, even a small piece will taste like a festival the poor can afford to attend. The words land like rain on a roof that did not know it was thirsty. Pride tries to argue and discovers it has prepared no speech. The host's shoulders lift and lower as a man learns a thing he thought he had purchased already. He bows, this time, all the way to his eyes. Forgive my hurry, he says. Teach me to make room. Let the hungry teach you, the traveler answers. They are professors in the school of enough. He turns to leave, but the host stops him with a hand that has remembered how to be a neighbor. Come again, he asks, not as a command, but a request. Come when my bread is truthful. I will, the traveler says. And the promise is not to the man, but to the part of him that just woke up, back on the lane where humble lamps keep watch without envy. Bhai Lalo and the traveler walk in step. The night listens to their silence with interest. Your home is a good teacher, the traveler says at last. It learned from honest hunger. Bhai Lalo answers, there were nights the pot was shy. On those nights, we salted stories to make them last until morning. They laugh in the soft way people laugh when the truth has been kind to them. They reach the carpenter's door. The bench is still warm from before. The traveler sits again, and Bhai Lalo brings 2 cups of water that have become sweet from the clay. They drink like men who are not in a race. Will the official change? Bhai Lalo asks. People do what they practice, the traveler says. If he practices room, room will come. If he practices display, display will breed. Our work is to practice what we want to become. They say good night without ending their friendship. The traveler rests in a small guest corner where a quilt has memorized the shape of gratitude. The house breathes. Somewhere, a neighbor's door closes with a blessing in the hinge. In the second watch of the night, Bhai Lalo wakes for no special reason and steps outside. The stars have taken attendance and found every seat filled. He thinks of the loaf he needed that afternoon, the turn of wrist, the patience in proofing, the heat that had to be right, not proud. He thinks of how work becomes prayer when it is honest enough to be small. He walks the short path to his workroom. The tools hang like old friends, plane, chisel, mallet, square. He runs a hand along a plank and feels the tree still speaking. I stood long. I bent in wind. I learned to be useful by keeping my fibers true. He thanks the tree without words. He thanks the giver of trees. He thanks the day that will ask for a table strong enough for the elbows of children and the bowls of soup and the tap-tap of homework pencils. When dawn steps gently into the room, he is already at peace. He grinds a small portion of grain. More will come later. For now there is enough. He warms the griddle and listens to the batter's first whisper. He knows that soon the traveler will rise with the kind of rested eyes that make neighbors feel more possible. He knows the official across town will sit longer than usual staring at a loaf that has nothing wrong with it except the questions it now asks. The traveler wakes as households wake because light remembered how. He stretches the way a man stretches who belongs where he is. He steps into the small kitchen and offers to clean the cup he used. Bhai Lalo refuses in the polite way that means yes. He lets the traveler pour water while he scrubs, and both deeds are honored equally by the morning. They eat small and well. Outside, the lane begins its daily story. A woman sweeps, and her broom makes a soft rhythm like sandals on temple stone. A boy runs with a kite that looks like the letter for joy. A neighbor knocks to borrow salt, returning it salted with gratitude. The town is not extraordinary. It is good. Before parting, the traveler and the carpenter stand at the door where so many hands have learned the shape of rest. What should I keep practicing? Bhai Lalo asks, though he already knows. Kirat, the traveler says simply, honest work done with a clean heart. Vand chakna, he adds, share what arrives, even if arrivals are small. and remember the name, the way your breath knows how to say it without you remembering to instruct it. If you do these, your bread will always be good, even when the dough is little. I will practice, Bhai Lalo promises, and the promise feels like a tool newly sharpened. They part like water parts around a rock it loves, without fuss, planning to meet again by being faithful where they are. The story moves on, as stories do, but its work remains in the town. The official lowers a few of his lamps and raises the pay of those whose hands give his table its weight. He discovers that fewer guests come at first, then better ones do. He learns the taste of bread that does not glisten with anyone's sorrow. He becomes hungry for that taste the way some men are hungry for applause. His household breathes differently, more like a workshop, less like a stage. Bhai Lalo's bench remains a friend to tired hips. His door, always a little open, teaches the lane how to exhale. The traveler moves along to the next place that needs remembering. His feet the kind of sermon that never scolds. And you, wherever you are tonight, sit at this small table with them. Let honest bread be the lesson your body understands first. That work done clean does not tire the soul. That simple food shared is a kind of festival. That houses grow large when people practice room. If you have wealth, let it become warmth. If you have little, let it become enough. Either way, practice. Breathe in like a dough rising without hurry. Breathe out like an oven opening to share its quiet miracle. Put your attention where your hands will be kindest tomorrow. Let the lamps in your mind learn which ones to dim and which one to keep by the door. The night will finish its careful work without noise. Morning will smell like wood and bread and the sweet plainness of water. The story will not end. It will continue whenever you choose the bench over the stage, the neighbor over the audience, the honest loaf over the gilded cake that forgets how it was paid for. Rest now. The town is safe enough to sleep. The traveler keeps his watch without needing to be seen. The carpenter's bench is empty but warm. The courtyard's lamps are fewer and therefore truer. The stars approve by simply existing. Your breath knows the name, and your heart knows the recipe for enough. Reflection, honest work in the hands. Imagine your hands tomorrow doing one task with clean attention. See the motions slowed down until they look like respect. If the task is small, let it be small perfectly. If it is large, break it into pieces that fit your breath. Repeat a gentle sentence as you picture it. I do this honestly, and that is enough. Notice how the heart stops asking for applause when the hands remember their craft. Let a tool in your mind become well oiled by this imagining. A pen, a mop, a keyboard, a ladle. The world does not improve because it notices you. It improves because you tend one corner faithfully. Reflection, the bread test. Picture two loaves before you. One is simple, one is spectacular. Bring your attention to the simple bread first. Feel its humble warmth, its patient crust. Ask quietly, whose rest is inside this loaf? Let images arrive. The farmer stretching their back after harvest, the miller wiping flour from brows, the cook humming without hurry. Then look at the spectacular loaf. It shines, but what does it ask of your conscience? Choose with your breath. Inhale by the honest loaf. Exhale away from display. Your body often knows before the mind catches up. Reflection. Practicing room. Think of someone you do not agree with and give them a chair at the edge of your attention where they can sit without performing. You do not have to feed their argument. You can feed their dignity. Practice room. The way Bhai Lalo's bench. Practice room. Steady. Available. Not theatrical. Let your shoulders demonstrate architecture. Down and open, giving space without collapsing. Notice how your breath moves differently when the room you offer is real. Reflection, name, and breath. Let your breath say what the mouth forgets. On inhale, a syllable that means presence. On exhale, a syllable that means gratitude. Do not hunt for holiness. Let it find you doing the dishes of the day. Imagine each breath polishing a small window in your chest. Through that window, a light that never brags spills into ordinary tasks until the ordinary is golden without glitter. Reflection, the quiet ledger. List 3 arrivals from today that cost no one their dignity: a smile that did not ask for change, a task completed without a hurry tax, a moment you chose to listen rather than win. Let each become an entry in a ledger the night keeps, credit in the account of enough. When the mind brings old debts, tell it the bakery is closed. There will be fresh patience in the morning. Reflection, the bench, and the stage. See a bench under a small lamp. See a stage under many. Walk to the bench. Sit. Feel what your body knows there. Weight evenly held. Breath slower. Expectations humane. The stage is not evil. It is simply hungry. The bench is not poor. It is simply satisfied. Which one does your next hour require? Choose the bench if you're going to sleep. Choose the stage only when you have bread to give and not to prove. Reflection, paying fairly in thought. Consider how you pay the workers inside your own head. Do you underpay the quiet ones? The archivist who keeps memories safe? The janitor who cleans up after big feelings? The clerk who keeps appointments honest? Raise their wages tonight with appreciation. Tell them explicitly, your work matters. Notice how internal fairness turns down the noise without any decree from the outside world. Reflection, sharing arrivals. Think of one thing you can share tomorrow that will not make you poor. A ride, a recipe, a sentence, a listening ear, a tool. Picture the person receiving it without debt attached. Sharing is not charity's cousin. It is kin to justice. Let your chest feel bigger without becoming proud. The door of the heart opens without the hinges squeaking when the gift fits the hand that gives. Reflection. Lamps to dim, lamp to keep. Make a small list of lamps in your mind that you can dim. The one that spotlights mistakes. The one that interrogates the future. The one that advertises your worth to you. Turn each down. Then find the lamp by the door. The one that is for welcome. Turn it up one notch. This is the lamp that keeps you human when the night grows theatrical. Let its circle of light be exactly the size of your bed. Reflection. Water in a clay cup. Picture water poured into a clay cup. See how the cup's humility makes the water taste more itself. Ask which vessel you can be tomorrow to make something pure taste purer. A conversation, a task, a moment of rest. Vow to be shaped, not shiny. The world knows the difference, and so do you. Drink from that image until the body remembers how refreshment is honest or it is nothing. Reflection, practicing before proving. Take a task you've been tempted to perform for approval. In your mind, remove the audience. Practice the first 3 minutes alone as if nobody will ever know. Notice how your shoulders settle and your hands find the right speed. Let this be your rehearsal for a life where the proof is in the bread, not in the applause. Reflection, honest wealth, honest poverty. Imagine two houses side by side. One is wealthy and warm. The other is modest and warm. The warmth is the common virtue. Tell yourself, I will measure by warmth. If I have much, I will become a hearth. If I have little, I will keep the flame clean. Feel how envy and pride both dislike this standard because it leaves them with nothing to sell. Keep it anyway. It buys the kind of sleep you need. May peace fill your heart and stillness rest in your breath. If this story brought you calm, please subscribe and share it so others too may find their moment of grace before sleep. New stories arrive every week, each one a quiet light in the dark. Until next time, rest gently and remember, grace is always with you.